wasn't going to get into a long speech because I'm not representing anybody particularly. I'm just here supporting the kids. You know, and coming off that beach where I was reading a book. Lee Rich.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ani. Schnabe kwenda mapipchiging dojba. Shano no kwendish likas minan mendode. Das shanana bonjanda ngi Rainbow District School Board Trustee ngishin kanwo. Minongi kinomageshanda das shanana bon. Mi wish I got to retire. We are P. Up my boat. Education is mechanic. Sorry, my water went down the wrong way just a minute. What I said was, I was a teacher here, a counselor at Rainbow District School at MSS here. Some of you I know from those days. I retired here after 15 years. And then I became the trustee appointee from the 11 First Nations to represent 11 First Nations as trustee. The work of a trustee, of course, conforms to the Education Act. You're given your orders as to how to behave, what to say, what to do, where to be, and what to say. Those are already outlined. As an Anishinaabe, it has been quite difficult to be an Anishinaabe within this corporation. You want things for the students. You want the Anishinaabe students to be feeling confident. You want the Anishinaabe students to succeed. You want them to graduate. You want them to practice their language, their culture in a setting such as this. That has been very difficult. The reasoning I get every time I bring up the issue, and everybody is sick and tired of listening to me about it, is, well, we don't have the personnel. We don't have the money. Do we need to get some money from the Ministry of Education? Is that what we need to do in order to have more Anishinaabe influence within the system? And it always came to zero or a few bucks. We have now the TRC commitment, the calls to action, one First Nation trustee, one Indigenous lead to implement everything in there. It is a good thing that Rainbow District School Board did approve to do something about the TRC commitment. However, we have been unsuccessful in developing a committee, an advisory committee, a task force in order to implement. One person can't do it in the board. We have an advisory committee, which is your education directors, your education coordinators. We have meetings 4 times a year because that's what the Education Act says. And we only meet 4 hours. So that's 16 hours we meet to represent the total population and to oversee the money that is spent at Rainbow District School Board. I'm glad you're filming this, Larry. You can take it back to Rainbow. So this is the way it goes. It's been difficult, and yet it's been very rewarding in the sense when you see the amount of First Nation students coming into the school. I cry, I literally cry, when I go to graduations, when I go to awards night, when I see the absence of First Nation students at these functions. When I see 3 First Nation students graduating. I go to awards night, maybe I see 3 more getting awards. When I know what the population is, And I have gone to different awards and graduations throughout the Rainbow District School Board, including Sudbury and surrounding areas. And it's always so disappointing to see the absence of our culture, the absence of our language, and the absence of the number of students that we have within our communities. Gitchinenda mwenda kimak kinishnave mwachinda. Apchuwe ni gwenda kigidok nishnave mwat. Mi manda shinda get nuingoba. Nishnave shinda danani buelk. Ushmegu apta shinda nishnave kiauk. Mampi MSS Nikadik. Mino Rainbow District School Board. Kadish apje begit nigades no nishnave mwin. Kaige ujunya. Kidok. Kai wo you walking on market. Kai begit nigasio kon the way en schnabem chick mampi we bishot. You know how language teachers are certified. We have to go to some colonial institution in Thunder Bay, Southern Ontario, Ottawa. They go and take courses how to teach the language, and then a dean of education or a non-Aboriginal professor or director of education signs the paper and says, okay, you can go and teach the language in the provincial schools. A person signs that can't even talk in an Indigenous language. It's so embarrassing. I'm a residential school survivor. I was in residential school for 12 years. And I know what it's like to be controlled, and you're never allowed to be who you are. To the fact that I'm speaking about is when we have to go to a non-Aboriginal education institution and have a non-speaker attest to my ability to teach the native language on a white piece of paper. That's what the color of the diploma is when you walk away. It's white. Then you can go to the school and teach native language because the non-Aboriginal professor said you could. Doesn't understand the language. That is poor. That is pathetic. And that is something that we have to fight for as Anishinaabe people. I could go on. However, I think you have the gist of my feelings, having been involved 30 years as an employee, 30 years 15 years, which totals 30 years. I think I know a little bit of what's going on, what has transpired, what can happen, how we can collectively make our future a Anishinaabe future instead of one that conforms to what somebody tells us how to live. Now, miigwech.